Basically, yeah, the assault happened when I was 15. It was my first sexual experience, and things went really wrong after that. Things went really downhill. And I certainly was gravitated to men that could give me a combination of safety and also like drama, you know? Because I wanted to feel safe, and I wanted to be with somebody who I didn't think would hurt me, but I also felt very uncomfortable with safety, and I thought I didn't deserve safety, and I thought that for a long time. Yeah, I thought that for a long time.
For more than 2 decades, I have written in a diary almost every single day. And guess what? I saved them all. Each week, I will be reading from these archives and getting to know myself from the lens of my 10, 16, 25, and 36-year-old self. We'll explore big topics such as body image, queerness, divorce, addiction, mental health, and friendship. I'll read cringy poems and attempt to find compassion for the painful tenderness of my younger self. Join the drama of me and my guests as we explore our boy-crazy, closeted, angsty selves, one stupid page at a time.
Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Angsty Pod. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been in the podcast chair. I guess I've just been focused on other things. I've been dog sitting a lot. I've had a lot of really sweet dogs and foster dogs in my home over the last couple of months. I've been busy with work, and I've been actually really busy writing, which has been awesome. But I was realizing, oh my gosh, it's almost the end of May, and I still haven't put out a podcast episode, so I thought I would get back into things. At the end of my last episode, I think I promised that the next episode would be an interview with my mom, but unfortunately that interview hasn't happened yet. It is on the books, and we've tried a few times to get it going, but for reasons, it just hasn't happened yet, but I do believe that it will. So that's very exciting news, and what else can I update y'all on? I get this little email summary every week from the place that hosts my podcast, and I don't often click on it because I really don't care about numbers here that much. I'm really honestly just making this for me, and if people listen, I'm just like, yay, that's awesome. I do open it once in a while just to like see what's going on, and every time I open it, I'm like so surprised at how many episodes have been downloaded and how many have been listened to, and I'm just like, wow, this project has really become something that I'm just really proud of. And the message that I get most often from people who listen is that, one, that it's brave to do this, and I agree. I feel very brave while I'm doing it. And the other is like, I was going through the same thing at that age and I couldn't articulate it, and you've articulated it for me. And that's been really interesting because I think one thing I've always been able to do is articulate how I'm feeling. I've never had an issue of like identifying the feeling. I'm pretty quick to say, oh, this is anger, or this is resentment, or this is jealousy, or this is sadness, or this is joy. And I think I do have my journaling practice to thank for that. I think journaling so intensely for my whole life has really given me the gift of like knowing how I feel about things. I don't process things quickly. Oftentimes I'm thinking about something that happened weeks ago or questioning something that happened days ago. I don't think I process things very quickly, but I think I can identify things very quickly. And I don't know what that says about me, but that's just something that I've been learning about myself. I think I'm just going to get right into the episode. I feel like this one's going to be maybe a hard one. As a reminder, I'm in 2007. I'm done high school, but I haven't gone off to college yet. I've taken a year off to kind of support my dad through my parents' divorce. And also, I guess I just wasn't ready to go to college. I had to work for the year to save up, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to take. I am absolutely head over heels in love with an amazing boy. I don't think he's a man yet, but he's going to be an amazing man. That much I know. And I think the theme of this journal is that I start to identify that maybe I'm the problem. Because some things that happened in my past relationship with Gert that I swore were his fault are also happening in this relationship, and Corey doesn't seem to have the same qualities as Gert, so it's like the common denominator might be me, which is always a hard thing to know and see in yourself. So yeah, I think I'll get into this journal, but thank you so much for listening, for coming along the journey with me, and yeah, let's get into it. 2007, again, this is the year between high school and college. Recently, I've gone to my prom. I've graduated. My mom has left our family home. And yeah, this is November 20th. It's almost as if every time we fight, I tell myself, don't do this. This isn't you and Gert. This isn't the relationship you want. You have Corey, the literal guy of your dreams. You have Corey. You wanted him every single day of high school. You stared at him all day long. You smiled every time you thought of him at work, every time you pictured his face, his body, his spirit. You thought after just weeks of knowing him that he might be the one to make all your dreams come true, that you might be in love. He was the one to give you that rush. The first time you kissed, it was absolutely everything you wanted. Wow. I tell myself that Corey, and Corey alone, is the biggest and best thing I have achieved, and that every moment I spent trying to attain him was worth the moment I finally got him, in quotations. So I wonder, knowing that, why I feel this other feeling when I'm with him sometimes. It's been strange lately. The moment I walk into the room, I feel annoyed. I feel like maybe he doesn't belong with me. And then I think there's a gap in time. I write a little line and a little arrow that says, all of that was brought on by the fact that I had Corey over, but then I moped all night, so Corey decided to leave. I tried to kiss him as he left, but he didn't let me. I said, bye, and I thought he was making a romantic gesture by reopening the door to make me melt, but then he let the cat in and waved. I felt bitter, alone, about to write an entry all about our relationship that was possibly falling off the edge. Then, as I began, see other page, I heard a knock at my window. I went to the door. I forgot my movie. So, thinking it was another sour moment, I got the movie and gave it to him. Then, having a choice to give up and feel bad about it all night or give in and make it better, I hugged him. You didn't really come back for the movie, did you? He said no, and I made him kiss me. Most of the time, I guess, I just wish I could be everything that he wanted me to be. I wish that I could be that girl that kissed him and hugged him every time he needed me to. And sometimes I knock him down so hard for certain things, and then I turn around and just stop trying. Sighs. Just as I'm about to tell myself that no matter how badly I wanted us, it might just not be enough. But it is. He's worth it. That's the new thing I'm going to start telling myself, that no matter if he's late or forgetful or sometimes gets to me, that he's worth it. Always has been, always will be. And then I make a little point form list that says, you are great because you are supportive of all my decisions, friends, and dreams. You are okay with the friends I have. I mean, seems like a low bar, but okay. You aren't jealous. Not true, but okay. You accept my flaws and my mistakes. You have been here for me through the worst of times in my life, my parents' divorce, Lou, and my car accident. True. You have made me feel loved, always. You are more concerned with my pleasure than yours. True. You let me have my own space and time. You let things slide that plain and simple other guys just wouldn't. and you want what's best for me all the time. Sometimes I take these amazing qualities for granted because I compare you to the boys of the past. I need to realize that you are not perfect, but you try to be the perfect person for me. So for that, I am grateful. So grateful. I love you. Wow. Okay. So that feels very loaded, and kind of sad. I can see how hard I'm trying to make it work. When it's tricky because obviously you, the listener, don't have all the information, but I mean, spoiler alert, we didn't end up together, so obviously something happened. But the first part of our relationship was really good, and yeah, we had problems for sure, but we really did love each other, and he really was a good man, like a good guy, and we struggled through so much. What I see here when I read this is two people that are just trying really, really hard to be together. I also see somebody who's kind of at his wit's end. I see somebody who is maybe tiring of trying, but we'll see. We'll see what that leads to. The very next entry, November 24th, I say, today was an exciting day. I went to lunch with Shannon and Cassie today. It was very fun-filled, lots of laughs. We saw Andrea at the mall. You guys remember Andrea, right? Right. I messaged her later asking why she gave me the cold shoulder, and she said it's because I make her nervous. She's so cute. So next day, November 26th, I say, today was Rochelle's birthday. What a great one. As long as her and I had fun, which we did, that's all that matters. So much random bad things happened that night. First of all, Janelle totally sketched out hard. She yelled at me nonstop all night, and I hated it. Then Janelle told Ken that Rochelle and me were doing ecstasy. I wrote in brackets. Then Janelle told me that Ashley left because she heard me talking shit about her. It was, on the other hand, great, though. Rochelle was a blast. Shannon picked me up from work. We chilled and got ready. Was a blast. Apparently things were a blast. I got a weird vibe from her, though. I got weird vibes from the usual. I chilled with Julia and Andrea. Oh, Andrea. We kissed at the end of the night. We talked, underlined twice. Played some hand game. We just flirted. It all led up to that kiss at the end of the night. Oh God, she's gorgeous. Corey was great too. He didn't seem excited to see me, and even though we kissed a few times, I felt the way I usually do around him, like he is disappointed in me. But then we finally made it back home and I gave in. I was fucked up, so I just sort of watched him as he slept. We cuddled in bed all day. He made me lunch. The day didn't end on a good note, though. Corey drove me home, and then when he left, he accidentally hit the neighbor's mailbox. There's a big dent in his truck. He scared the shit out of me. I hugged him and tried to make him laugh. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that, but yeah, he was obviously either hungover, maybe still a little drunk, and like he drove me home from his house in the morning, and then he hit my neighbor's mailbox, and they were really pissed off about it, justifiably so. Also, my dad kind of was like, I don't know if I like this boy for you. I can see like a lot of things in this entry, mostly like my social anxiety. I just think everyone's mad at me all the time, and I also can obviously see that like I'm cheating on Corey at a party where he's at the party, and I'm justifying it all that like I'm bisexual and it doesn't count, and like maybe we're poly, and just like all this crazy justifications in my head of like why it's okay that I'm kissing this girl at this party when it's really not, and Corey has every right to be kind of like pissy with me. But of course I am not that mature. November 29th. I don't know what this is about, but I say, Melissa, the new girl from work, sucks. I hate her. Hate. Next time I work with her and she looks at me like that, I'm going to ask her what the fuck she is looking at. No, I'm not. That's never going to happen. I talked to Andrea through text messaging for quite a while the other night. Sighs. I don't know what I think sometimes, I guess. Sometimes she is so enticing. After talking to her, I have a very hard time getting to sleep. I was thinking, fantasizing really, about her and I and Anthony doing something. I'm not sure why he was involved, but I do feel very attracted to him as well a lot of the time. And then last night, I talked to Corey for a while on the phone, friendly. Lately, I've been thinking about our future. I mostly just don't like to think about how long we will last. On one hand, I can see us being together through everything: school, moving out, holidays, new friends, growing up, getting married, kids, growing old. But on the other hand, I can see us taking a long break in the middle of all that. If I'm going away to school, I guess I am just unsure about how much I want our relationship. Just seeing how Katie and Jared fell apart and knowing how much I will want to mingle, I don't know. The other part of me knows that Corey will be fine with me having a very college experience. I guess the only thing that really doubts mine and Corey's future is my own sexuality. Before, it was just a simple crush on Andrea and a quick glance at my girlfriends from time to time. But now, sometimes, I feel like the female body is the only thing that arouses me. I mean, Corey, or the thought of any other man for that matter, gets me there. But my ultimate dream is to make love to a girl, and I already know Corey is not okay with that. Wow. That is, like, quite the queer admission. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by this. I was closeted. I was closeted. I wasn't out. I think the only person that I had admitted these feelings to was myself and the girls that I was kissing. But yeah, I feel sad that Corey got caught up in this. Like, it's bad timing, but I might not have figured out my sexuality if it wasn't for being with him, which, again, doesn't feel great, but you don't know until you know, I guess. Next entry. November 30th. Okay, so last night was crazy. As planned, Rochelle came over at 3. We chilled for a bit in the living room, and then Jenny took us to Players. When we got there, it seemed like it would be just us two. We ate and didn't really talk to anyone, just chilled. That's why I love Rochelle. Every time I talk to her, my jaw ends up being sore from laughing. We had 2 beers and 2 pitchers, so by the end of the night, which wasn't until 10:30, I was having a great time. Rochelle's friends came. Kaylee, a guy named Corey, and some nice guy named Maddie, and some hot guy named Jesse. Cassie met up with us, and we all chilled, ate, drank, played pool. It was a really great time. I laughed so hard. I ended up being the butt of a lot of jokes because I was so drunk. I was disappointed when Jesse said that I looked really drunk and got self-conscious. Oh well, he ended up getting my number at the end of the night. Haha, jokes. Anyways, it was a great night. We all walked to Blondie's, and that's where I called Andrea and begged her to come out. Haha, oh god. Sometimes I just really get thinking of her. This is unhinged. So Blondie's, by the way, is a strip club, and I am 18, which is pretty crazy. Where I live, legal drinking age is 19, but I probably look like I'm 15. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. So Blondie's is a strip club that we walked to and partied at. I don't really remember that, but I believe it. And then Players is like this shady, dodgy bar that's near the strip club that was like a pool hall. And I think normal people go there, but also a lot of creepy men go there. And we were just like 3 hot girls walking into this bar that were like clearly underage and just getting hammered. So not a very safe environment. And I used to hang out there a lot. And since joining recovery programs, I've actually bumped into some men who have said, "Did you used to hang out at Players?" Which is always gross. And also, yes, I did. So one thing that I maybe glossed over in my last episode was this car accident that I had. And it was a serious car accident, and it was pretty amazing that I was fine. Definitely could have been a lot worse. I essentially T-boned a dump truck that failed to stop at a stop sign and completely totaled my first car that I had ever owned. I'd only owned it for like 6 months, and I had really bad whiplash from it, and I was sort of on modified work after that. Was only working part-time. But more so, I had really bad anxiety about driving, and I didn't have a new car yet. And this next entry, December 3rd, I tell the story of going to a party, and I say, like, I'm drinking Bacardi Gold, and, like, it's jokes all around. It was great. I spent the night at Shannon's. Then I say, I woke up and just wanted my own bed so badly. I felt like shit. I tried calling in sick for work, but my boss was being a bitch, so Shannon drove me at 3. It sucked. Then tonight, I felt crappy, but I looked cute, so I decided to go out, but it was all wrong. Jenny actually let me borrow her car. Driving it was a huge mistake. I was so anxious. I felt sick to my stomach. I had to keep pulling over to settle down. My jaw hurt from clenching it. Awful. So I came home and cried. So in all respects, I should have just left it at that and not gone out, but I was desperate to see Corey, and Amber's cousin had just died, so I wanted to see her to cheer her up. So Dad ended up driving me. Amber and I chilled, and then we went to Harris's, but literally all I could concentrate on was how awful I felt. I realized how, in doing that, I ruined myself. Everyone seemed ecstatic. Mike was drunk. Harris was drunk. Rob was happy. It was good vibes from everyone except me. I just hated my mood. And now here I am alone. I miss driving when it was carefree. I miss 99 Problems. I miss all of it. I miss Corey too. So yeah, I'm feeling lonely and a bit isolated without my car. And I am also having like pretty severe anxiety when it comes to driving. A lot of my freedom came from having a car because I lived out in the country. My high school was in a very small town, and all my friends lived in that town. And then I lived in a very, very, very small town about like 20 minutes away from that town. So my car really was my independence, and I didn't really have that independence anymore. But I also just was suffering from, probably a little PTSD from the accident. Okay, so the next 2 entries, I want to read them side by side because it's crazy that these are side by side. So the next entry starts off with the sentence at the top that says, "Do I not do it for you anymore?" And this is obviously something Corey asked me. So I write him a letter and I say, "Dear Corey, it makes me sad to hear those words, but I understand them. I realize more and more how cold I am sometimes. I realize that when you approach, I pull away. When you have passion, I have distance. When you try so hard, I seem to give up. And I'm sorry. I miss you so much sometimes, and then when we finally get to see each other, I don't give into it. I should. I guess I just don't know how. I use that excuse too much, I know. I just find it hard, especially now, to show you how I really feel. I feel like since my mom left, I have even less faith in the feelings 2 people can have for one another. A lot of the time I feel very bitter and hopeless towards relationships. It's completely unfair to take any of that out on you. You have been here for me through so much this past year. You have been my best friend in a lot of ways and showed me such a strong love that I have no excuse for saying I have doubts. But I do. About myself mostly. I wonder how it is fair that you should have to be trying so hard to love somebody that can't love you back because of something we both can't control. I know divorce is hard. I know you know it too, and sometimes it can shake your whole foundation. I'm grateful that you have found a way to trust me and have the feelings for me that you weren't shown as you grew up. It means so much to me. I wish I could promise to try harder to do the same, but like you said, it's all new to me and it's hard, so hard. I feel so frustrated sometimes when I get all distant and unaffectionate, but I guess sometimes I feel that you deserve more. I feel like you deserve someone who understands how much these actions can hurt a person. And I haven't understood until tonight when you looked at me and sincerely asked me if I was bored of you. I'm so sorry. The time that we haven't shared together lately should not make a difference. I miss you so much, and I can't wait for the day that we can lie together and embrace one another like we used to. I want to be there for you, like you've been there for me. I want you to be able to talk to me like I'm your best friend. I want you to make love to me like I am the love of your life. I want to cry on your shoulder and laugh by your side. I need us to work out. And I know for that to happen, I need to explain why I can't give you what you need. I guess I don't show it because I feel like I'm an adult now. My parents are civil and went about the whole thing in the absolute best way they could have, but in reality, they have had such an effect on me lately. It's not fair that it's changing the way I feel towards you. If anything, you and I should still be able to talk about it. I mean, you've been there before, in worse circumstances, but I just feel so bad for thinking about how their failed relationship is and comparing it to us when I should be thinking about how great we are together. We are great together. Yeah, that's honest, you know. It's basically like my parents' relationship is like, or their divorce is affecting me. The next day, December 9th, I write, I woke up feeling worried about Corey and I, so regardless of my duties, cleaning, making supper, getting ready for Christmas, I called Corey and spent the day with him. We had the best time. We played a trivia game when I got there. It was strange and random and fun. We got in the mood for a while when he was standing and I was sitting on the couch. We started kissing and it turned into undressing each other and other things. It felt so good, was very needed. I regret not giving much time to him lately, but maybe that's changed. We had a long talk. I said a lot of things that I wrote to him last night. He understood and was good about it. He told me that I could definitely talk to him whenever I needed. I feel better about everything, and Corey is amazing. Yeah, so that feels like comforting, and also that's a quick turnaround, girl. Like, that's a quick turnaround for everything to be fine. Corey and I had a great date night tonight. He picked me up after my massage. I test drove a car, and I felt very safe with Corey. Then we went to the mall. We went underwear shopping. It was cute. I felt so in love. I tried things on and even let him in the change room. Ooh. Then yesterday, I went to Corey's family Christmas. Oh God, it was so nice. I felt like I belonged for sure. When it was the kids, me, Corey, and then I list a bunch of his cousins, it was so casual and fun. Corey's mom loved her gift. Corey got me 2 sweaters. It was a great day. I don't know. I guess things are improving, so my mood's improving. Okay, so the next day is Christmas, 2006. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but my family doesn't celebrate Christmas, so what I was used to doing was spending Christmas with whatever family took me in, kind of like a stray around Christmas. And I actually always loved that. But for the last couple of years, all through high school, I had spent Christmas Day with my friend Chuck and his family. And apparently Chuck and I are in a fight on this Christmas Day, so I'm not sure if I'm going to spend Christmas Day with him. So I say, this morning I went to Katie's family breakfast. We had the traditional Christmas casserole. Then I came home and Chuck had called. I called back and said, I was just calling to see what you wanted. I thought we were fighting. He ended up inviting me to his family lunch. It was nice of him. I said, I'll only come if you say you're not mad at me right now. He agreed, but told me to act polite. I ended up explaining why I did what I did to make him mad at me. But we ended up having a great time. We entertained each other at a very boring dinner. Then we went to his house and hung out. He had a picture of us from Quebec in his room, smiley face. It was so nice. One of those great times that we have. We played around, wrestled, and talked. On the way home, we hit a raccoon, but it was great. Yeah, fond memories. I'm not going to get into that relationship dynamic too much now. But yeah, that was nice to see that. That might have been the last Christmas I spent with him, but yeah, that was nice to see. Okay, so after Christmas, I go, you're probably not going to believe this, but I actually go to Florida because Corey's dad lives in Florida and he's invited us there for Christmas. And I fly to Florida with Corey's sister. If you recall, the year before, Corey and I had been in Quebec City and I had an absolute alcohol-induced psychosis event, and we almost broke up because I was so awful to him in Quebec. And then the day we got home from Quebec, he flew to Florida, and we had this like week of not talking because he was obviously very upset with me. So this time I'm going to Florida with him, which feels a lot better than the year before. So January 4th, 2007, I say my trip to Florida. Probably I didn't write much while I was in Florida, but when I got home, I sort of summarized it all. So get ready for this bumpy ride. Wednesday, the 27th, Chantal and I flew to Florida together. She was a good friend and helped me through my panic attack on the flight. We landed, and then we had to wait for our luggage. So Jim, that's Corey's dad. So Jim, Corey, and Chantal and I ate. When we got there, Corey and I missed each other. We did it twice in a little twin-size bed. It was great and so loving. I actually can't believe I didn't mention our insane flight in this, but like Chantal, maybe it wasn't this trip, I don't know, but Chantal and I missed our flight, basically. We were like on the way to, somebody was I can't remember who was driving us, but somebody was driving us to the airport in Toronto, and then they were like, so when's your flight again? And we were close to the airport at this time. We were maybe 10 minutes away. And we were like, no, I'm pretty sure it's at 1. And they were like, no, it's not at 1, it's at 11. And at this time, it was like 10:45. So we book it to the airport. We run in. We are running without our shoes on through the airport, through security. We're crying. We're panicking. And like, we literally are the last people on the plane. We sit down, and it was just crazy that we made it to our flight. It was so crazy. But I didn't mention that in this, but yeah, it was wild. Okay, 28th, I say, Chantal and I laughed in the sun. Corey and I were outside and started kissing. We moved it to the bathroom, and he went down on me on the counter. Oh my goodness. Then we fucked. Felt so good. We also had sex later that night in our new bed. Okay, so that's what we're doing. 29th, very short, I say, we lied in the sun again, lounged, shopped, ate steak, and swam. That sounds like a great fucking day. 30th, it was a great night. We all drank outside and went to bed late. 31st, New Year's Eve, we all went out for the day. I put my foot in the Gulf of Mexico. We ate at Denny's. Very impressive. We went on a tour. Later that night, we went to, I don't know, some restaurant for a big fancy family dinner. Unfortunately, I didn't feel very good later on, so I didn't have the best New Year's Eve. I did drink some champagne, though. Corey and I had a very nice kiss, followed by us glowing after we realized we had spent 2 New Year's Eves together in a row. Oh, God, what a great feeling. We made love that night slow. This year, I want to let you know that I love you more often. That's very nice. On the 1st, we recuperated. Their Canadian friends and their 2 kids came over. We ate Chinese food. There was a big storm that day. Later that night, Chantal, Corey, and I drank, and I got really drunk. It was a great night. We laughed, howled all night. Was great. The 2nd, a sad last day. I felt like I didn't want to leave. What an amazing last night, though. We all went into the pool with our clothes on and got stupidly drunk. Leaving was sad. I loved Florida. Corey and I had so much fun and didn't even think about fighting. It will remain a great memory. Truth fact, it does remain a great memory. Unfortunately, things are going to get rough. I knew that this entry was coming. I just didn't know it was immediately after I got home from Florida. So I got home from Florida on January 5th. January 7th, I write, I did blow today. Wow, it's been almost a year. Oh, I remember this so vividly. It's a short entry. I just say, I did blow today. Wow, it's been almost a year. I was painting a picture, even though I didn't feel artistic. I did some shots and a tiny bump and was buzzed. It was great. Too great. And then, like, my words, like, fall off the page. Yeah, that... Oh, man. What I dislike the most about this is that I'm just, like, sitting in my room at my parents' house that's now just me and my sister and my dad, in my room alone after like this amazing week in Florida with my boyfriend, doing shots and doing blow. Like that's, and I'm 18. Like that's it. I just, like a couple days later, Jenny informed me that she was moving out. I listened to her and Dad fight for a while, and then Jenny and I cried together. I figure it'll be better for her, at least for a while. Corey came over to comfort me. He hugged me for a long time in her room as I cried. I felt morbid about it. Like, me and Dad just love to drive people away. And with it just being me and him, I feel like I'm about to become more and more like him. Ugh, I'm so damn stressed. There's so much to do. Insurance, college, glasses, teeth, ugh. Not sure what, obviously that's my to-do list, but I do remember this event as well. I didn't remember that it happened so soon before college, but I guess, yeah. So my mom moved out in September or late August, and then it was just me and my dad and my sister, and neither me or my sister was in school at this time. And yeah, it was just tense. Like, everybody was going through this sort of emotional roller coaster, and my dad and my sister were fighting a lot, and I don't know what their fights were about, but they were fighting a lot. And then my sister said, fuck it, I'm moving out. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe she actually moved in with my mom for a while, and then she moved in with her boyfriend at the time. But it was very hard to like lose another member of the family, and I couldn't imagine like just not living with her, and I was really upset about it. And I'm really glad to hear that Corey was there. But yeah, that was a hard moment. Immediately after that, January 16th, I started the entry by just saying, fuck, I am still so stressed out with all this shit I have to do. There's so much to get done. My weekend was fun. On Friday, I got called into work. I felt good about myself for going. And then when I came home, I just stayed in with Dad and chilled. We actually had a good conversation about his childhood and his mom. He told me that he thinks things will be okay. Saturday was interesting. It was a great night for me. I'm proud of myself for not getting caught up in the drama, because the drama was everywhere. Then I just list a series of dramatic things that are happening, like, between my friends. There's like 20 things that I list, like so-and-so is mad at so-and-so, so-and-so is like sleeping with like, it's unhinged. So what happened that night is Corey and I didn't go home together that night. I'm staying at a friend's house, and Corey wants to stay at the party. We didn't have plans together to stay out. We were both like at the same party. So I go home. The next day, I get a call in the morning from Corey's mom, and she tells me that Corey was arrested. She's pissed, and she isn't like accusatory, but she kind of wants to know like what state he was in when I left the party, which obviously, if you remember, might be triggering for me. I do not feel responsible for Corey getting arrested, but I do feel like maybe a bit guilty because we could have gone home together, but I don't know, I didn't want to stay at the party anymore. And what happened, I'm not even going to say what he got arrested for. It was a minor offense. It wasn't a violent offense, but like he did something stupid and got arrested. And his mom bailed him out, and then the consequences were swift. His mom took his truck away, and like he had to do community service, and like it put a damper on things that were already damp, if you know what I mean. I have a continuous headache. I'm convinced it's a brain tumor. That's 3 sentences, but when I say I was convinced it was a brain tumor, I mean I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, because I was like dead serious that I had a brain tumor. When really I just probably wasn't drinking enough water, and I was probably doing blow. My boyfriend had just got arrested, and my sister had just moved out. Definitely wasn't a brain tumor, but I was very convinced. The rest of this entry is me explaining that Corey and I hung out with his mom because neither of us have a car anymore. I say we went to Home Depot with his mom and Corey started being mean. I really just wanted to tell him that I felt like he shouldn't be mean to his mom since she does so much for him, not just with money, but he's gotten a lot of things in his life just handed to him. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to work hard for things now. Hopefully he learns some responsibility in the next little while. I can't be with someone who's lazy or messy or irresponsible. Okay, so maybe like Corey's mom is rubbing off on me because I kind of remember that day, but I think like his mom was just mad. She was pissed at him, and I think I was just pissed at him too. So in late January, amidst all of this happening, I start thinking about college. At some point along the journey, I've decided that I want to go to chef school. The next many pages are like me making lists about which colleges I should apply for. I'm making pros and cons lists like it's my job. The main question is, do I want to go away for school? So the pros of that are like more freedom. Oh, I'd get to cook just for myself. I might get to have a roommate. I would get to decorate all by myself. That was a big thing, apparently. The cons of that are that there wouldn't be Corey, right? Then I make a column for like if I stay at home. The pros are that I'll save money on not moving out. I'll get to spend more time with Dad. I'll get to be with Corey. The cons is like I won't get to move away and experience my life. So the next many entries are about that. Probably the best thing in my life at this time is my dad and my relationship. It's a mystery that like my dad is having all this tension with my mom, obviously, and now with my sister, but him and I are just like getting along swimmingly. I say things with Dad are, wow, it's just working out so perfectly. I feel content with him, how much we hang out, we make dinner for one another, we do cleaning on Sundays and big organizational days. We are one and the same. I also say that like things with Corey are pretty good. There's this entry where his parents go away for a weekend and we're like playing grown-ups in his house. I say like I go over to his house, we have some whiskey drinks, ha ha ha, so grown up. Then I like do like a striptease for him. I say we lied close after, cuddled, caressed. I told him I loved him right to his face. I was so drunk and high. So things are progressing and some things are going okay, but things are also really tumultuous. Another big thing happens on February 4th. A bunch of things happened, actually. I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I say my mouth throbs. I got my wisdom teeth removed, and I can't get rid of all this pain in my mouth. It's been weird. It was weird being put under. I panicked. Dad took care of me, though. He's been cooking and cleaning for me. Jenny got into a car accident the other day. It scared me when I heard it. I honestly wonder if she's okay. I hope driving doesn't kill her someday. She's so careless sometimes. The big news, though, Al visited today. So Al is, how do I describe him? He is the older brother of my good friend and is the person who sexually assaulted me when I was 15. We had a very dramatic, like soap opera-y relationship. He was sort of a main character in my story, in my sister's story, and he was always around until he wasn't, until basically like I kind of stopped hanging out with the circle of friends that hung out with him after my assault. I didn't tell them why, but I just like left the group. And I also just stopped hanging out in the places where he hung out. So, and we weren't in school together because he was much older. So I didn't see him around. But he came to my house on February 4th. He was visiting me. He didn't know that Jenny was there. Oh my God, it was just so strange. He hasn't changed at all in most ways. He's still on drugs, still in trouble, still a little sad. But he still knows that Jenny and I care for him in some weird, twisted way. but it's been so long. He kept saying how good it was to see us, and wow, I can't believe it. I can't believe how much he's still the same, and I can't understand how after all these years, he knew we'd be here. I felt still angry towards him for everything that happened. It also feels like he abandoned us. He brought me into a life that fucked me over again and again and again, and then he just left me there. I mean, yes, he showed me some great times. He showed me that I was someone other than Jenny's little sister. He gave me that night where we sat in the park in the tube all night. He gave me protection. He gave me a high. I remember how we used to just kind of worship each other. But I have to admit we had a destructive relationship. And it's strange because that's what I miss from him. I miss the chaos, the drama, the tears, the screams. He left, and now all I have is the hope that we maybe still need each other. I know he needs us. He needs to be forgiven. He needs to feel like he has his girls to look out for. He needs to have me, but I no longer need him. He no longer fills the void I once had. I needed to be fathered, someone to teach me how things were done, how to be cool, how to roll a joint, how to drink, how to live the life that I have come to love. I needed Al to be the first guy to love me, to really love me. However obsessive and messed up it was, I loved him for loving me that much. And I know he still loves me that much. And I just wonder if there's too much bitterness and resentment in the way for me to love him back the way he still needs it. I don't know, man. It's fucking me up because it's just been so long since I've even thought of him. I came to accept that he was out of my life, that too much time and shit had gone down for us to salvage the friendship, but maybe him coming here tonight is him trying to prove that it isn't too late. I think that's pretty clear. I think it's weird because, like, I spend, like, so much of journals in the past writing about him and, like, thinking about him, and now all of a sudden, like, I'm in this, like, sort of new stage of life that this person who was a big part of my life isn't really a part of. I don't think him visiting me at my home was, like, very appropriate. He was definitely, like, sort of a villain in my story, absolutely. I don't think I saw him again after that. I don't think I ever saw him again. I can't recall. Maybe he'll come up in another journal. But basically after that, very soon after that, I went away to college and then started traveling and starting my new life. So I don't think I ever saw him again. It was, let's see, I was 30. So 12 years after this, but 15 years after it happened. It took me that long to recognize what happened to me was sexual assault and that he was the perpetrator. But at this time in my diary, I don't recognize it as such. That's why I'm sort of talking about him with this, like, sort of glorified lens, which kind of makes me sick. But also that's what happened. I'm experiencing this in real time because I didn't remember that entry or, like, him coming over to my home. The part where I say, like, I needed to be fathered hurts my heart because, as you can see in this diary, like, I have a great dad and, like, my dad is really showing up for me in ways, but I think maybe my dad was only really able to do that after my mom left. I don't know. But yeah, I have feelings. I have feelings about that. When I did realize that what happened to me was assault, I remember where I was. So I was in this poetry workshop. I think it was 2019. I was in this poetry workshop called Poems That Don't Suck with Megan Falley. One of the assignments was to, like, write a poem using metaphor to, like, talk about something that's hard. And I wrote a poem about my assault, and I, like, named it in the poem, but, like, without naming it, you know? And I kept working on this poem because Meg had messaged me and asked if she could use it in the final week of the course to, like, every week she picked a couple poems to like talk to the class about. And she had asked if she could use mine. And so her and I had this like back and forth. It was kind of like I was really working on this poem. And she said in one of her comments is, you don't have to say, but like, I'm curious if this part is autobiographical because like, what a fucking asshole, if it is, and I'm sorry. And I read that and was just like, yeah, this happened to me. And that was the first time I not only said it, but like realized it. Up until then, I'd literally never, I hadn't told a soul what had happened to me that night. And then I wrote this poem about it. And then, I don't know, I asked a couple of friends if I could read the poem to them. This was like right around when Shiva and I started dating. Also, so I guess it was 2021 actually when this happened. And I remember like, this is a horrible time to figure this out when you're like just starting dating somebody, because I had all this baggage that like I'd been carrying for 15 years that was now all of a sudden like at my front door. And I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't ready to deal with it. Or I guess I was. Maybe that's why it was at my front doors, because I was finally ready to deal with it. And I had a conversation with my bestie about it. And finally, like, she asked some important questions of just like who it was and how it happened. And I told her what I knew. And she, said she was really sorry and gave me a hug. And I think it explained a lot of my behavior those years. Because basically, yeah, the assault happened when I was 15. It was my first sexual experience, and things went really wrong after that. Things went really downhill. And I certainly was gravitated to men that could give me a combination of safety and also like drama, because I wanted to feel safe and I wanted to be with somebody who I didn't think would hurt me, but I also felt very uncomfortable with safety. And I thought I didn't deserve safety. And I thought that for a long time. Yeah, I thought that for a long time. I'm just going to take a little break here. Okay, that was intense and a journey, and I need a hug. So I'm actually going to end our episode here, and I'm going to just end it by saying I turned 19 at the end of this diary, February 18th, 2007, I turned 19, and I go out to the bar because, like, what else are you going to do when you turn 19? And I have very little money because I recently got a car. I'm only working part-time because I have a back injury from my car accident. And my boyfriend can't go out because he's under like house arrest because he's recently gotten arrested. How was your 19th birthday? Like, this is so crazy. But I do have a good time. And I spend the entire night with my friends dancing. I dance on the bar. I like eat chicken wings. I get drunk. I do ecstasy. I get a call from Corey where he tells me that he's sorry he missed my birthday. And I say, that's fine. I had a good time. And then I call Andrea because she's who I really want to talk to that night. And I don't love any of that. I really don't love any of that. But that is my reality when I'm 19. And this entry really ends with my 19th birthday. So much happened in this episode. Holy shit. I am going to be reflecting on all of that for a while. I'm so glad I called this the Angsty Pod because, wow, I am so full of angst and so traumatized, and wow, it's amazing that I made it through. It is amazing that I made it through. I'm so grateful to have had this, what I'm going to call a spiritual experience, live on the podcast. We'll see how I feel tomorrow, but right now in this moment, I feel grateful. I'm going to leave it all in. I'm excited for the next episode. As mentioned in my intro, my mom will be coming on as a guest soon, and I'm just excited about getting out of 2006, and now we're in 2007, and I'm about to go off to college soon, and I'm 19, which means the debauchery is just a little bit more legal now, and we're going to see what happens, and we're going to get through it together. Thank you so much for listening. If you have a diary that you would like to read on my podcast, or just come on and be a guest, I love having guests, you can find me and all the information at www.dolovwords.com. Thank you so much for listening, and big, big love.